Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. In the last part we got ourselves, not really shipwrecked, more like ship parked here, and now we're gonna continue on. That ring there appraises to be the blast ring, which ups the damage your bomb does. In that bush right there, there's an old man who gives you 300 rupees, by the way. And in here we got some bombs. This ghost here is the last secret giver in the game. He used to work at the library in Labrynna in the past, so we have to take a secret there eventually. I'll do that before the part ends. We'll do that eventually, obviously. Now we want a bomb over there because... yeah, that made sense. Because, progress is in this direction. Well, as you saw on the previous screen, there's a stump out here we want to use. And now we want to turn the season to spring. And at this point I'm actually going to head back to the ship because what I'm doing is entirely optional. I'm not going back to Hero's Cave until after this next dungeon, but what I'm doing is entirely optional all the same. If you come on this screen in spring, you find the final golden creature, the Golden Dark Nut, who is honestly the easiest. Oh, and I forgot to mention it back when we did it, but if you kill the Golden Octorok by making it fall into a pit, it doesn't count. You have to leave the screen and come back for it to respawn. And now we're heading back to this place because we can finally get the reward for killing all 6 golden beasts, and we get a ring! We'll find out what that does momentarily. First up, let's go do that password over in Seasons. Back at the library! Yet again, this is near the past. This is in the past near the Zora City. And we have to do this puzzle again, we have to go across these pits, so yay! But upon making it over here, we can tell this guy the secret. And for doing so, he asks why we know it first off, and then he's gonna give us something. And by that light, you can tell it's an upgrade, and... we got the mirror shield! We can now deflect all projectiles. And he's gonna give us the secret to that in Seasons, so write that down. And we are now essentially entirely done with ages. Booyah! And back in Seasons, let's appraise the rings. I got the Rang Ring, which increases your boomerang damage. The Blast Ring, and now we have the ring we got for the 4 golden beasts. The Red Ring, which doubles your sword damage. Needless to say, that is going into my box because it is broken. Especially with the Big Goron sword. Anyway, let's transfer that mirror shield over to Seasons, so we can be that much closer to completely finishing this game. I wouldn't be surprised if this is done by part 20. Now, there's one more secret in the game, technically, but you can't get that until after you beat the game, if I recall correctly, at least. Anyway, we're done here, now we're back over here in the summer, because this is the season you need it to be to progress onward. Don't worry about that cave, there's nothing in there for us yet. And there's a Gasha soil spot here if you want to use it. I already got the piece of heart, so no more Gasha seed planting for me. And there's a piece of heart over there, but we can't get that until we get the dungeon item, so yeah. Either way, welcome to Level 7, Explorer's Crypt. And another song I could have sworn was used in ages at some point. Either way, prepare for one hell of a gauntlet, because this dungeon likes to throw crap at you everywhere. It also has some pretty clever traps, like one we'll be seeing momentarily. Not on this screen, we'll find out what this screen is for later. I'm only getting the Pegasus seeds out because they'll speed me up. But on this thing, you have to leave the room before all 4 torches go out. There's multiple rooms like this in the dungeon, and you need to be really careful with it. If you don't leave before they are all put out, I think it acts like a wall master caught you. And it's here we get more whiz robes. Not that effective, honestly. As far as what the colored rings do between blue, green, and red, the blue ring, which we got back in ages, doubles your defense. The red ring obviously doubles our attack. However, the green ring acts as a medium of the two, upping your attack stat by what is essentially 1, upping your defense stat by what is essentially 1. They each have their moments of glory, but I prefer the blue ring overall because I like taking less damage and then dishing out the pain as much as I can. But that's just the kind of player I am. Anyway, by killing every enemy in here, we get a magical ring, which I believe appraises to be one of the armor rings, which I already have from ages. I'm not entirely sure about that one, though. Anyway, get out your slingshot, because, well, you need it for this next screen, and light the 2 torches. Upon doing so, a ghost will show up, and scold us for trying to break its curse, and then attack us. It's very easy to spin attacks with the Master Sword to take it out. And now that we've killed it, or not really killed it, more like made it go bye-bye for now, the torches no longer go out on this screen, so we're safe here. And we get the rollers again for the first time in a while, if I recall correctly. No, actually, wasn't there one back in the previous dungeon? I forget. Anyway, all but one of these Armos is a living one, so don't push up against them until you're ready to. Which should be after this room, actually. Pressing that switch will make this trampoline appear, however, you don't put it on the blue space, you put it a couple blocks beneath it, actually. Because that blue square is where your reward drops down, as you can clearly see. Obviously, you're not going to know that that's a thing unless you're either watching this as a guide, or if you played the game before. Either or is a very viable option. Like I mentioned, all but one of these is a actual Armos Knight. I don't think it's randomized, I think it's always this one. But once you figure out which one it is, it's pretty simple. Just push it onto the block, or button. You know, I gotta say, I also really like the way this dungeon looks. I like the purple. Although it's not really much of a purple, it's more of a purpley pink color. Anyway, get your magnetic gloves out, because you're going to need it to get past this room, obviously. And I think this might be the only blue southern pole thing. Think being a keyword there, obviously. Though they look like they might share a color palette with the vases, depending on where you are. They might just, actually. Oh, great, this puzzle. Welcome to my least favorite puzzle in the game. It's also probably the best one, honestly. The way this works is that you have 4 buttons. Each one moves the Armos statues in front of it towards it. And you need to effectively push all 4 so you can cover all 8 green spaces. The way it goes is bottom on the left, left on the bottom, top on the left, right on the bottom. That might take you a couple tries, but for doing it, you get a small key. It's clever, but at the same time, I don't like having to think in the games I know are more action-based. I'm looking at you, random certain puzzles in Devil May Cry. Particularly, what was that? One of the secret missions in the first game, which really caused a lot of pain. Oh, that's right, the, stupid shadow one that you can only do once, unless you knew how to save the game beforehand, like I do. Anyway, the way this room works is that there is obviously a trampoline in the middle. You can move the blocks to the left and right of it so you can bring it out of here. A lot of people recommend you just move the ones on the right so you can get behind it. However, one thing, yet again, not a lot of people seem to know is that you can jump over the trampoline, not just onto it. Though what's really funny, actually, is that if you jump onto a trampoline in a place where there's a ceiling above you, Link actually hits his head on the ceiling and drops back down, which I actually find really funny that they actually paid attention to that detail. Anyway, put it right there so you can jump out of this pit and come back to this screen to get this chest. And we have the bubbles once again, who took away my freaking sword! I hate it when enemies do that. Either way, we get the dungeon map, which, if you look at it, is shaped like 3 layers of a skull. This is a pretty tricky room. I forget how you're supposed to figure out what you do. It's either an owl statue or you have to read the tablet in the middle. But what you have to do is get your Ember Seeds and Pegasus Seeds out in that specific order on that specific items, and light the 4 torches before they go out. These ones go out much more quickly than the others, so you have to keep that in mind. And for doing that, another Poe shows up, and we need to take her out pretty much the exact same way we took out her sister earlier. Spin attacking! If you're wondering why we did that, if you actually went to the left of this screen earlier, you'd be in another one of those rooms that's, if the 4 torches go out, you're sent out of it. But since I did that, we get that little jingle, and we can progress onwards. You can unlock that thing if you want to, but you're not supposed to do that. Then again, I don't even have any keys, so yeah. Anyway, you have to go about killing up all the dark nuts in here, but to do that, you actually need to use the, magnetic gloves. So they actually got to use that effect. I actually entirely forgot about that, honestly. Okay, you're gonna need to come over here so you can hit that little switch there, so the southern pole rotating platformy things can start rotating. I hate this section, by the way. What you have to do is get to the blue trampoline on the left. However, to do this effectively, you need to switch poles really quickly with the magnetic gloves, so you can go from one to the other really quickly. And to do that, you need to essentially let go of the button, press it again, hold up, let go of the button, press it again, and then you can lock onto that one, and you can come over here. Needless to say, that's annoying. I hate it when games have you do stuff like that. Anyway, the only reason we came up to this trampoline is because there's Stalfos in here we need to kill. You can actually make that jump if you use the Pegasus Seeds. It's just kind of tricky. It's kind of like how you can make technically 2 pit jumps with the normal Pegasus Rock's Feather if you know how to do it just right. Alright, for doing that, we come to this next room, where I showcase the fact that you can actually do the Pegasus Seed trick. And for doing that, we get the Rock's Cape. We can now normally jump 3 panels. I think you can actually jump a total of 4 with it, 3 with it normally, 4 otherwise, I want to say. No, 3 normally, 4 with the Pegasus Seeds, I believe. Either way, it's awesome. And because of it, you can tell we're going to be doing a lot of jumping in this dungeon. Oh! You know, I get the whole fall damage thing, but how does Link pop back up there aside from game logic? That doesn't really make sense, but I'll take it. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 16 we'll be continuing on in the Explorer's Crypt, probably finishing it in the process. See you guys then.